My name is Kyle Mulholland and I'm the minister here at St Silas Church in Wolverhampton. The question I want to consider today with you is, what do I do with my healing? Perhaps there's something wrong with you. You've got some kind of illness, maybe mental, maybe physical. Perhaps you're struggling spiritually at the moment. Have you thought about, and this is something that you ask God to help you with, have you thought about what you would do with your life if you were made better? You ask God to help you. Have you thought about how you'll dedicate yourself to Him in a new way if you're made better? Perhaps you're somebody who has come through a period of sickness, physical, mental, spiritual, and you're now wondering, I've got my powers back in some way. How can I serve God with what He's given back to me? We have an account at the beginning of Mark's Gospel, Mark chapter 1, verses 29 to 31, that is intended to help us with this. And I suppose I could summarize it by saying that we are healed for service. We're healed for service. This is a busy Sabbath day in the life of the Lord Jesus Christ in Mark chapter 1. And after doing all kinds of interesting things in the synagogue, Jesus goes back to Simon Peter's house and finds out that Simon's wife's mother, his mother-in-law, is poorly. She's got a fever. In fact, it's so bad that she's laid up in bed. And they tell Jesus about his mother-in-law. And so Jesus, having the power that he does have as the Son of God, he goes into the room where she is. He sees her lying on the bed, sick, perhaps with a temperature, unable to get up, unable to do anything. And he tenderly takes her by the hand and he lifts her up. And we read, and immediately the fever left her and she ministered unto them. So immediately the fever left her, that is, she got instantaneously better. She was no longer laid up in bed. She no longer had a temperature. She no longer had a headache. She could carry herself about as she could at other times. And then what did she do when she was made better? She ministered unto them, which means that Jesus, Simon and Andrew, James and John, whoever else was there, Simon's wife probably, maybe the children too, Simon's wife's mother had been made better, and then she began to serve the family, perhaps getting the table ready, getting food on the table, all the kind of stuff that would make for a lovely Sabbath day together as family and friends. That tells us something about what we should want to do if we're healed, and then how we should say thank you to God if He does make us better. If you've got a physical illness, something wrong with your body at the moment, that means that you can't go out the house, think about how is it that you can serve others when that power is restored to you? Is there someone that you visit to encourage or to take care of that you can't see at the moment? When you're made better, will you return to that activity? Maybe you've got a mental illness at the moment that makes it very difficult for you to think beyond your own concerns. If you're made better, will you make the effort to do with that mental space God's given back to you what He wants you to do? Will you serve others? Will you let them give some of their burdens to you? Perhaps it's a spiritual thing of some kind where you feel that you're struggling and God seems distant. If He restores the joy of your salvation to you again, what will you do with the service that you're able now to render to Him? How will you rededicate yourself to Him? How will you rejoice in Him? How will you proclaim His name? So we learn from Simon's wife's mother that if we're healed for service, not for selfishness, but for service. May the Lord help us to remember that truth when we need it.